Ma! Ma. Dan's here.
Drowning is the story of a young guy called Mick who's in his final year of high school, and he has recently lost his older brother to a drug overdose. And the only person that he is close to is his best friend Dan, who has recently found himself a new girlfriend. I'd seen Xavier's work in some of his other films, September and Newcastle, and I really liked what he did in those films. So I was pretty keen to get him on board for Dan. He read the script and he really liked it and he wanted to do it. So that was wonderful. For Phaedra, I really wanted someone who could bring both a sense of youth and, in a sense, an exploration to the screen, as well as being a bit of a bombshell. She sort of had to be impressive, had to be someone that was potentially way out of Dan's league. Casting Mick was a lot more difficult. I really wanted to find the right person to be able to bring the nuances that need to be on the screen for this character. And it was hard. We went through a lot of auditions. We saw a lot of people, and eventually, quite luckily, Miles Szanto rocked up to an audition.
Fuck, my parents can't afford to send me to uni, okay? And my grades are shit anyhow, and they're old, okay?
And he was immediately Mick for all of us, for me and Anne-Marie, the producer. We both immediately knew it.
Often working with writer-directors is quite a challenge because they're quite attached to what's on the page as they're directing it. But Craig was very, very collaborative and very, very welcoming to our ideas and our version of these characters, which I think was really generous and quite special to this film.
I think the main thing that attracted me was it's a story about friendship, and how when it first starts, it's these two teenage boys and they're going to this girlfriend's house, and it kind of seems like another film about teenagers. But then as the film unravels, you see there are so many more issues at hand. But I think the main thing was how the character of Dan sticks with Mick, and it's the whole sense of friendship and no judgment and just being in there for the long run.
When I was writing Drowning, I really drew upon a lot of my own experiences from when I was that age, things that I went through. You know, I think when you're writing anybody, you kind of bring your own experience into it. So there's a little bit of my stuff, my own youth in all those characters, I guess. As well as, you know, stories that I've heard from other people about what happened to them when they were that age.
Well, Phaedra, she's a teenager. I've been a teenager. She, on the outside, had everything. She had a house, she had the looks and everything, but I think she was just a scared little girl that needed to be loved. And so I just summoned that within myself. Summoned that within myself. We all need to be loved, and she felt that she had to prove something and be this sexy little minx, when really I think she was just scared and alone.
There was a bit of stuff that was cut from the film that was in the original script that we actually shot. There's this great moment where Mick, as he's entering Phaedra's house, he sees a dead cat in the gutter, which was this amazing taxidermy cat that was shipped over from Perth. And they spent hours wrangling ants to kind of gather around its eyes, and it looked beautiful. And it's actually probably my proudest moment as an actor, that moment on screen, which was cut from the film. Yeah.
We went to a house and did like a mock shoot, which was very interesting and fun. And so just really getting to know each other, so we were all very relaxed when we actually came to do the actual shoot. So, yeah.
I had a great time working on the kiss punch in the bathroom scene with Xavier and Ash, who's our stunt coordinator.
With that shove.
Yeah. And then I'd kind of go like that.
Yeah.
So like push the arms down.
Do you want to do the shove as well? Do the
Yeah.
like do it from toweling. I reckon, like toweling him, then go as close as you would to kiss him.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've done lots of stunt stuff previously, but a lot of the time it's kind of just action fueled. Let's have a fight scene for the sake of it and do backflips and fly in the air. And it's kind of, you know, not really about furthering the story as much as it is just about having a cool scene Whereas this stunt was very emotionally charged, and it was much easier to perform, I think, because it was fueled by emotion, and it was fueled by furthering the story, which I think really helped it, actually, in how it kind of turned out. I think the most common question that's asked of me when people have seen the film is what's it like playing a gay character? And I think it's kind of a redundant question. Playing someone of a different sexuality other than your own is kind of just exactly the same. Reading lines that aren't your own words it's a challenge and it's weird, but I think that playing a gay character is exactly the same. Kissing a boy, it's on the page, it's telling the story, it's no different.
Mick's sexuality is pretty blurry. It's a bit ambiguous. It's hard to know whether he is in fact gay or straight, or he doesn't know himself. Ultimately, the story is about him needing to connect with another person to fill the void left by his brother's death, more so than a coming out sort of story. I think what really attracted me to this story was that excitement of that time in your life when you're a teenager and everything's unpredictable, everything's high stakes, and the world can turn on its head in a single day.
I think this film is a great portrayal of what it's like to be 17 years old and just about to finish school and being entirely lost and unsure of where you're going to go and who you are, through the eyes of Mick, who is going through such a horrible tragedy and dealing with such grief. I think Craig nailed that in the way it was written, the way it was directed. I think that we've all experienced that and will experience that in our lives at some point, and it's really great to see it in this way, which I think is kind of unique.